Well, Sabbath greetings to everyone. I hope you're having a marvelous Sabbath, and I hope you had a wonderful week. We had a great one here in Sussex. It's been a busy week, but it's been a wonderful, wonderful week. I want to talk a little bit about that before I get into it. Just a little something that's been on my mind that I kind of ran into during the week, and I want to share that with you. Hopefully, it'll be helpful. I wanted to let everybody know, I try to keep you guys aware of what's going on around the area. I have been talking to a lot of go-tos. I've been out there visiting and talking to what we lovingly refer to as go-tos. And we do have some wonderful, wonderful, really I think going to be some wonderful prospective members here. Some of those have been invited, and I very much anticipate several of these individuals coming very soon to services, primarily in the Chicago area. That's where the bulk of our go-tos come from. But please be praying for those individuals. I just want to ask you to, if you would, just in a broad way, just pray for all of those go-tos. Not only my go-tos here in the area, but the go-tos all around the country and around the world. I believe the work is certainly picking up in that sense. We get more stations and that sort of thing. It takes a little time to kind of gather some momentum in that area, but I do feel it certainly in this area that we're definitely not at a shortage of go-tos in the area. So it's exciting. I get to talk to a lot of different people and get out there and visit with them, and many of these folks, at least it appears from just the initial visits, that certainly some of those individuals are very likely being called of God. And so that's very, very exciting, always very exciting. So please be praying about that. But we do have some newer members around the area, and I often get questions from, sometimes it ends up being a lot of those newer members, maybe, they ask the question, how can I serve? What do I do? Now that I'm here, what do I do? Where do I go with this? Everybody comes from a little different background, and they've got different expectations from a church, if you will. A lot of these folks, maybe they've been involved in certain denominations that sort of encourage, personal evangelism, or certainly Jehovah's Witnesses. They're going out there trying to witness to people, in a very in a very direct way, and we certainly don't encourage that in the Church of God. We understand God does the calling, and we certainly don't want to beat anybody over the head with this message. We do understand 1 Peter 3:15 that we do want to be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks us of the hope that a reason for the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. We want to be able to answer. People have questions about what we believe, and they see often a change in our character, a change in the way we do things, and so they ask us. We want to be ready to answer them and encourage them in this way of life, certainly. But we don't go out and engage in street ministry and that sort of thing. And we also know that certainly not everyone is called to be ministers or deacons or serving sort of out front in that way. That's not God's intention. There are different ways that individuals can serve. And I ran across an old article, and I don't even want to mention the name. It's a pretty old article from back in the Good News a magazine, but I won't quote from it, but I do want to kind of provide some of the essence of that article, because I think it was helpful, and I hopefully you might find it helpful in encouraging some of the newer members and passing on some of these ideas to them if they happen to ask you about these things at some point. 1 Corinthians 12 and verse 28. Of course, this is where Paul talks a lot about spiritual gifts. One of my favorite parts of the Bible. I know we have so many, but 1 Corinthians 12 and 13. It's the same thought pattern. It just flows together, and so it's a very interesting flow that you see Paul, that Paul take here in these particular chapters, and I find it very fascinating and wonderful to see his thought process and how he's working with these individuals here in Corinth, and we can learn so much about it. But he says, God has appointed these in the church, first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, And then after that, miracles, then gifts of healings, and then he says simply helps. Isn't that interesting? Just one little word, helps. If you do a little study on that particular word that Paul uses, it's antilepsis. Antilepsis in the Greek, and it literally means, it's two words, anti, which we use that today with antiseptic or whatever. It means opposite or against, and lepsis, which means to seize or to grip. So we put those together, it literally means opposite grippers. Opposite grippers. An example is, can you imagine trying to move a heavy table? And you've got one end and you're gripping it, you're ready to move it, but what happens? You need someone to grip the other side, the opposite gripper, somebody to come up and assist in that way to lift the other side of the table so you can move it, you can get the task accomplished. And so the idea Paul is bringing out here, the essence of it is that sometimes we can just be an assistant, we can be there to help, to be the opposite gripper, to look for ways that we can assist others in accomplishing the things that they need to do. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have so many opposite grippers around me in the congregations here that I serve. And I want to thank all of you opposite grippers out there, those that who help and assist me in accomplishing the tasks that need to be done. It's a team effort. We need some of those individuals that are there as helps or opposite grippers to help and serve in that way. And so this is something I thought was very interesting, and it's where my thoughts were in that way. If you have a desire to serve, that's a wonderful thing. If you have a desire to serve, then pray about that. Ask God to open up some doors of opportunity to serve. Look for ways to be opposite grippers, to be those that are ready to lend a hand, to assist, maybe just assist other people in getting things accomplished that they need to get done. Certainly another way that we can serve, is to pray for others. I know that there are some who, they become prayer warriors, and they have, perhaps they're retired, or they have more time on their hands or whatever, and so they really take they take the effort, they make the effort to spend a lot of time praying for other people. Maybe we can be helps or opposite grippers. We can send cards of encouragement, letters of encouragement, things that we can do. I mean, who doesn't like getting a letter or an email or a card in the mail that's just encouraging? I was just thinking about you. We all love to get that, and that's something that's not that really all that difficult to do, and it's a way that we can serve. And so the idea is that there certainly there are big jobs that need to be done, but there are smaller things that need to be done. Sometimes it's just assisting or helping other people to accomplish what they need to have done, or to simply encourage or to pray for one another. But we can all serve one another. I thank you all, those of you who are opposite grippers here in the area. Thank you all for your service. I look very, very much forward to services in Milwaukee this Sabbath. It's our very special Sabbath. So not only are we having a spokesman's club, we're having a ladies luncheon spokesman's club, and that is something that we've looked forward to for quite some time. So we'll look forward to seeing the brethren there and the ladies there for that special spokesman's club. And then services, of course, and then we'll have the opportunity for a game night at our home once again. And we always look forward to that as well, all the extra fellowship. So it's wonderful, wonderful, jam-packed, exciting, wonderful Sabbath. And of course, we're there, of course, to be taught and to learn from one another, to encourage one another, stir each other up to love and good work. So I hope you have a tremendous Sabbath wherever you plan on keeping it. Be safe out there. I love you all. Take care and have a glorious Sabbath day.